Good day. Could you give me a little bit of information? Could you tell me your name and what you do?
My name is John Constant, and I am the community educator for the Durango Fire Protection District. Because the minute you start squeezing that handle, that's what happens. Pressure goes down. And then when it goes down, you have to start getting closer to that fire. Do you guys want to walk towards a fire? Not really. You want to walk away from the fire, so you need pressure. Those little ones have a lot of pressure at first. Then 20 seconds, it starts going down. So the rule of thumb is if your fire here or at home is bigger than a trash can, those little guys are not going to help you. If it's a kitchen fire, like in a restaurant, they have big containers like this that are silver, but it has a big letter K on it, and that's for grease fires. You don't need that for your home kitchen. You just need an ABC. Big ones at restaurants are designed for those big French fry fryers that spark up and have these massive flames. They also have alarm systems that they pull. Those are for the ones that just smother a fire, smother a grease fire. Your ABC one at home will do the same thing for small pan fires. If it's a big pan fire, what can you add on to it?
Baking soda.
Baking soda. Close lid, turn off the thing, put baking soda on there. Don't take that pan like you see in the movies, throw it in the sink and turn on the water. Oil and hot water do not mix. You got the container. This one just has regular water in it. I pressurize these with CO2. They're already, ones you get from the store, are already pressurized. I know they're pressurized because they all come with a gauge. On that gauge, you've got red and you got green. No matter what, you guys should be checking these on a regular basis, making sure that indicator is in the green zone. If you have one at home that's over 2.5 years old, I'd probably take it outside and spray it and get a new one. Update them at least 2 to 3 years. If it's anywhere below the green or above the green, it's not good. It's not charged. Don't assume because that little indicator is like, man, it's peaked out, it's like straight at 90, and it's way above the green, I got superpower. It means this gauge isn't working, which means this thing's probably not working. Don't use it. So what we want to do is on that sheet, the pamphlet you have, we have a little acronym called PASS, P-A-S-S. Obviously the first one, P, is pull the pin. All these will come with a pin. They also will come with a little plastic lever or plastic tie down indicating they came from the factory certified. And that tie down will go through this loop, this pin. You don't have to go get a pair of scissors to cut that off first and then pull the pin. Those are meant to break off just like that. Pull the pin, throw the pin, aim. That's all I got to do with the A. Squeeze, and then sweep. That's what PASS stands for. Pull a pin, aim, squeeze, sweep. When you sweep, you're sweeping at the base of the fire. Or if it's in a trash can, the backside. If it's against the wall, down into the can. Try not to knock over the can because what's in the can spread. If it's a ceiling fire, don't spray at the ceiling because everything you hit up is going to come down on you. You don't want that to happen. If I'm going into a room and I see that the trash can there is on fire in that room, and there's a fire extinguisher right outside that door, I better make sure I have a way out behind me. Because if I enter that room and that's the only way out and something happens behind me, I'm screwed. So I don't want to go in there unless I know my way out is safe. If I go in that room and there's smoke down to here, from the ceiling down, don't enter the room. Don't try to be a hero and try and put out that small can. Smoke, not fire. Smoke is the #1 killer for fires. So not the flame, it's the smoke. So don't go crawling in there with a fire extinguisher like you see in the movies, trying to put it out. If something happens in one of your offices or in your facilities, make sure you pull the alarm, get everyone out, call 911 or else you need to call. If it's safe, and you know it's a small can fire, go in there and attack it. Don't try to be a hero if you're uncomfortable or if it's really big. So I'm going to get this thing fired up. You guys give me a few minutes and we'll go to it. There we go. You guys are standing around like chickens. I need someone to put this out. For God's sake, there's a fire.
Kevin, quick.
Someone. Go, do it. Sweep, 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 sweep. Get it, get it. There you go. First thing I want to make sure is you guys are aware that we are in fire danger, even though we are not in a stage 1 or stage 2. We are still in a fire danger. 2 days ago, we had the Butte fire, Twin Buttes fire. If that got out of control, I can guarantee a part of town next to that would have been on pre-evac. Twin Buttes neighborhood would have been on evac. And even my area up by Rafter J could have been on pre-evac if it got real big. So what do I mean by pre-evac and evac? Well, that is all involved in what we call Code Red. Is anybody not familiar with Code Red? It's okay if you're not. So everyone, even if you live in Bayfield and Mancus, even if you live in any of these areas, in town, out of town, get involved in Code Red. This will alert you no matter where you are on your phone, whether your property is under pre-evac or evac because of a wildfire. All you got to do is sign up for free, give them your address. It goes off your home address, and it links to your phone. So, for example, if there was a fire by my neighborhood right now, I'm not anywhere near it, my phone would indicate, hey, you're under pre-evac or evac. So take one of these. It's simple. It's easy. The county, La Plata County, and the fire department are really trying to push to get people involved in this because it really is very helpful for us. Thank you. So for our home, what can we do? Obviously, for our home, we can limb up trees to about 10 feet. I know you don't want to do it. If it's a smaller tree, don't limb it up that high. Keep it low, but do a percentage of maybe 10%, limit up. Those big old ponderosas and those big old oaks or the big old other aspens and that, sometimes as they grow, those limbs naturally die off. So they do a natural limbing. Our oak brush, our firs, they don't. They just get bushy. So you need to mitigate. And when we talk about mitigating, it's pretty specific to protect our home. So for my home, I have probably about a 50-foot perimeter. We only really want from home to 30 feet. I want a little farther. I have no combustibles, no plants. I've got no bark, which is nasty around my house. I took away my bark siding on the house, took away my bark roof, replaced it with a metal roof. So I've got about a good 50 feet of just rock around my house. That's what we want. We want no combustibles within the 30-foot perimeter of our house. From 30 feet to about 100 feet, we want those trees. But I don't want the clusters of those firs mixed in with that oak brush coming up and thicken in there so I can't even see anything. I need to clear it out, thin it out. I need to limb those trees, those old good trees up. Make sure my driveway is wide enough for a fire truck or an ambulance to come through. Make sure there's no overhanging branches on there because fire truck's pretty high. If they can't get through because there's a branch hanging over it, they won't. Make sure my driveway is nice and can be graded. Because if it's rutted and nasty, our trucks can't get up there. From about 100 feet out, that's where you can pretty much say, I'm just going to clear up a little bit here and there. I can have clusters here, I can have clusters there. But you don't want the nasty, old, dead trees, the snags sitting on the ground, that if a spark hits, it's just going to ignite. I do a lot of maintenance in my yard, so if I have piles of pine needles or oak brush, I make them small and I scatter them. I don't have this big row of just dead brush waiting to be hauled away. I scatter it. Around the house, if you walk around your house or even rental properties, you'll notice the wind swirls and the wind pushes. Wherever that wind goes, it's going to dump debris, like pine needles, especially in corners. That is a good indication of where a spark, if traveled, will land. And if it's right in the corner of a house, that's how a house can catch fire, because a spark landed exactly where that wind's pushing all those needles. So clean out the corners. Clean out any of those areas where wind pushes debris, underneath the stairwells, underneath the decks, in the corners. Gutters. If you have gutters, clean those out. I know it's expensive to have gutter fences on top, but if you can, get it. If not, regularly clean out your gutters, because that is another place that sparks go and ignite. Roofing. If you can get metal roofing or shingles that are fire retardant, great. If you got the old style wood shingles, you might want to get rid of them. So that's what this piece talks about. It also jumps into the idea of being prepared. So on code red, if I get an indication saying my house is under pre-evac, I want to go to that house, my house, and I grab my bucket. What do I mean by a bucket? Well, the bucket's going to contain vital information, copies of my driver's license, copies, my records of my insurance, health stuff, credit cards, passports, valuable stuff. I'm not talking like antique big stuff. I'm talking stuff that I can put in a tub, that if I have to get out of there really fast, I can leave my property, grab that tub, I can go to where I'm supposed to go, whether it be a neighbor's or a friend's house in Bayfield, or where I'm supposed to go, like the fairgrounds for evac, and I have information about who I am, where I live, credit card information in case I need to do something. I've got cash in case I want to buy something. And I have food for my pets. I have an extra pair of clothing, because I don't know how long I'll be there. And the important thing is I got a copy of my driver's license. Because if I have to go back into my neighborhood after everything burns down, you bet there will be police there monitoring who can go in and out. I got to be able to prove who I am, and I live there. So a to-go tub, even if you're in a rental, is very important to have. Keep it from early spring now, all the way till our fire season ends, which is probably October now. Once that fire season is over with, you can get rid of that tub. So always have a tub ready for you. For me, I've got 2 tubs. I've got one tub at my house, and I got a duplicate tub at my friend's house in case I get an order saying, your house is already burned. I've already got a copy somewhere else, so I don't have to worry about it. And the third thing is if I'm not around, I have a neighbor know exactly where that tub is and know how to get to my pets, know to grab that tub and get out for me. Does that make sense? Those are key things. Also, the last thing, there is a class I'm teaching next week. If you're ever in Edgemont, and I'll be teaching it again at the rec center. How many people are familiar with the Marshall Fire that happened, that disaster? That was horrible for homeowners. 80% of those homeowners were underinsured. They had no idea. They lived in that subdivision. Oh, it's not going to be a wildfire. Their house is destroyed. They're not getting back what their value of that house was or their belongings because they are underinsured. Call your insurance company. Make sure you are currently at these rates covered. It's about $350 to $400 a square foot right now to build your home. If you bought a home back in, when did you move here? Probably back then it was $75 a square foot. Something really cheap. Right now, if you got to rebuild that home, you got to be able to have coverage for $350 to $400 a square foot to rebuild just your home. And if you have an exterior garage and an apartment, that's even more. Make sure the coverage is there. So update your coverage. Make sure you have enough coverage. And make sure you document everything you have in your house, which means go around, photograph everything. And I mean your closet, your drawers, every type of furniture you have, your garage stuff, your boats, your bikes, everything, put it on a USB or put it in the cloud. So if it happens, God hope doesn't happen, you can go to your insurance, say, this is exactly what I have, here is my value, no ifs, ands, or buts, this is what I'm worth and this is what I want.